Hi there. So today we're going to look at exercise 15.1 from our Murach's Python programming textbook as we continue our journey into object-oriented programming. So this chapter deals with inheritance, and we are going to modify a product viewer program that basically has a preset list of products with different formats. We're going to inherit the product details from the product class. So in our objects.py file, these are the items that will be inherited. So the name, the price, and the discount percent. And then we're going to we have some functions built into our class: get discount amount, get discount price, that's going to calculate the discount, and get the description, which is basically just the name. And then we're going to specify a couple additional classes that inherit from the product class. So we have book, and we're going to inherit these three properties, and we're going to add an author, and then we're going to get a description that will um, give us some formatting for the output based on whether the item in the product list is a book. So if it's a book, we'll have all the additional information, and then we'll have the description and then the author as well from that's included in the book class. And then same thing for the movie class. We're going to have a year that the movie was released, and that will be output in the description as well. So again, back in the main PY, which if you're doing this from the files in the book is called productviewer.py. So you can see up here, the very important item is that we are importing the objects PY file, and we are importing the classes product, book, and movie. And then we have our list of products. So we're basically going to send it our product list that is hard coded down here on line 24. And then we're going to print through each of these items in the list. We're going to start with number 1 because we want the products to be associated with a number. So even though we know in programming that that list starts at 0, for our users, we want it to start at 1. And then we have show product. So this function is basically we're setting a width, basically a placeholder for how long that column should be. And then we're outputting the name of the product, and then we're checking if is instance. So what we're saying is if it is a book, then we're going to add the author. If it's a movie, we're going to add the year, and then we're going to go back and just get the discount price for each item. And then our main function is going to print out our title, very important, set the value of the products, which one is a product, just a product, not a book or a movie. And we're going to call that show products function. And then we're basically asking for a product number and show information about the product. And we'll be stuck in that while loop until we choose N or anything else other than N. And so that's the program. Let's see what it looks like when we run it. So here we have, if I want more information, we'll just go through each of these. So there is our product data, which is the name and our discount price. So let's do the second one, The Big Short by Michael Lewis, and our discounted price. And then, oops, let me say yes, product 3. And so you're seeing how the regular product class just has the name and discount price, whereas the book also contains that author, and the movie contains the year. So if I hit no, our program will end. Okay, so that is the existing program. We're going to make modifications to it based on the instructions in exercise 15.1 on page 437 in our book. Okay, so what we want to do first is we want to add an attribute named format to the movie class that stores the format of the product. Okay, so we're going to go here into our movie class and we are going to update this. Okay, so let's go into our movie class and we are going to include a new attribute called format, and that's going to be a string, and we're going to set that to nothing, and then we're going to modify in the product viewer module for movie, so right here, product year, and it wants us to include the format attribute instead of adding it to the name attribute. Okay, so all right, so we have year, product year. Oh, it said something about on a separate line after the year of the movie. All right, so let's say print F format and our W. Careful with all your little curly brackets here. And this is going to say product.format. Okay, so if instance product movie format, and then what we need to do is come down to the movie. Okay, so that's what we have right here. We have the DVD right here. They want us to remove that and put DVD right here. And let's see if that works. Okay, we save this, we run this, and put product number 3. Okay, so that isn't quite right. My year and format are in the wrong spots. So let me switch that around and say 1975, comma, DVD. Let me save that, run it again. 3. All right, that looks better. Holy Grail 75 DVD discount price. And then let's just make sure that our other ones work properly as well. They all look good to me. Okay, so we have completed number 3 and 4. Now let's move on to 5. It says repeat steps 3 and 4 for the book class. You can use hardcover as the format for the book, or if you prefer, you can specify a different type of book format, such as paperback or ebook. All right, so let's do the same thing for our book. So we're going to do the same exact thing, and we're going to say format str equals this, and then we need to come back to our list here. We've got our author, and then let's say paperback. Okay, and then we're going to do the same exact thing with the is instance book. Print F. I can just take this entire line. So let's just take that entire line, Control C, Control V, and save it. You shouldn't have to, if you're using Trinket, you won't have to save it, but I'm using my Trinket as a separate file. So I'll go ahead and put 2 in author format paperback. Okay, that looks good. Okay, the next step is number 6, add an album class. In the objects module, add a class named album that inherits the product class. The album class should have 2 attributes, one for storing the artist and another for storing the format. All right, so we're gonna basically do the same exact thing that we have here. I'll just go ahead and copy and paste, use the joy of copy and paste. So this one is going to be an album. Make sure you have that capital A. And we're going to have the artist and the format. So artist and format. So, and we want it to say product get description by self dot, not self dot author, but self dot artist. Okay, so that looks good. And then we're going to have to come to our main.py and create something that looks like this. So I'm just going to copy that book one again, Control C, and put it down here. Fix my indentation there. It didn't quite come right. All right, so is it instance product, and this should become album. And then this isn't author, this is artist, product dot artist, product dot format. Okay, so that looks good. Now what we need to do is we need to add an album object. Okay, so we're going to create a 4th one. So here we're going to hit enter. We're going to do a comma, and then we're going to call this one album. And I'll use the example that they have, rubber sole, and then $10, 0, and then the Beatles and CD. Okay, let's see. I'm going to save this. I'm going to run it. And I have an error. Album is not defined. Oh, what did we forget? We forgot something because we created a new class in the objects, but we did not import it. So we need to import it up here. It's okay. Don't be worried when you see that that red. It's fine. It's a programmer's help right there. Okay, so there we have Rubber Soul by the Beatles. Let's go ahead and make sure that looks right. Artist, Beatles, format, and there is no discount, and that matches exactly what the book example looks like. Okay, we're doing good so far. Okay, now the last thing basically sort of makes us change everything here. So the next step is to add a media class. In the objects module, add a class named media that inherits the product class. This class should add a format attribute to the product class. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're creating a new hierarchy. Okay, so the media class is going to contain movie, book, and album. So it's going to inherit product, and then all of our other items that aren't just standard products, that are media products, will be changed from inheriting product to inheriting media. Okay, so we're going to come up here and we are going to add the class media. Okay, so let's put that underneath product, and we'll just go with this from the get-go here, class media, which is going to inherit product. And we are going to include that format. So basically, I think the point here is that we added format to those 3, book, movie, and album. And so if you find yourself repeating that, then it is important to recognize that you can pull that out and then have that item inherited by the others. Okay, so we're going to put that format string, and then we're going to create our function get description self, and it's going to look very similar. So we're going to say return f. Just got to be careful with the syntax when you're typing it and not just copying and pasting. Product dot get description self, and then a slash self dot format. Okay, so we're going to have the name and then the format. Okay, does that look right? Return F. Let me just check my syntax here. Okay, yeah, that looks good to me. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of format on all of these, and instead of inheriting from product, we're going to inherit from media. So be careful with that. Make sure that you are going through these line by line, getting rid of format and bringing media over. All right, so now that we have that, save this once more. I also need to import media. So I'm going to put media right here. So product, media, book, movie, album. All right, let's see what it says. The class should create a hierarchy in the product viewer file, modify the code so that it displays a product, so it only displays a format attribute for media objects. Note how this reduces code duplication. Okay, so now do we need to have this format printed out? What do you think? So let's remove it. I'm going to test it by removing it from. Okay, so I'm going to remove the format from each of these. And I am going to, hold on. I'm going to add yet another if statement. So notice these are if statements and not elif statements. So if is instance of product and it's media, then I'm going to put that, I guess I shouldn't have completely deleted that. I'm going to output that line that I just removed from everything else. And that is going to be format. So it's good for me to type this. It helps me remember product dot format. Okay. Okay, so if it is a media instance, then we will also get the line format. So we don't have to have it under book, movie, and album like we did before. All right, I think this looks good. Let me run it and test it. Okay, so I've got my first product, doesn't display format. Our second product does display, oops, this is all in the wrong order again. Okay, so I need to swap that. Let me see, let me check the other ones too. Same thing, so all of my format is wrong. So I need to put my format over in front of the author name here, and then in front of the year. Watch your commas. And let me do my CD. And then basically on your own, you can add a few more products, as I mentioned in the assignment, so that you can test and make sure that these all work nicely. Okay, so two. So there we go. Format is paperback, discount price, author, that's all in the right spot. Three, 1975 DVD. And then four, Rubber Soul, the Beatles CD, and then no. So the only thing that you have left to do as part of this assignment is to add some more items to your products list and make sure that everything works as it should. Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed this experiment with inheritance and that you have a better understanding of how object-oriented programming concepts work. Thanks. Have a great day.